One of my favorite games of all time was a complete surprise to me. I got it for free when I bought my Steam controller. If you don't know what a Steam controller is, it is a video game controller made by Valve that has these two customizable touchpads. They're really cool for PC gaming. I'm a huge fan. And when I bought it, it came with every Valve game ever made and Rocket League. And when I started playing when I looked at Rocket League, I said to myself, well, Bill, you don't really care about soccer and you don't really care about racing games. So soccer with cars isn't going to be something that you're interested in. But it's free, so why not download it, install it, and try it out? And oh my God, was I wrong. I was a huge fan of Rocket League. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's so fun, and the controls are just dead on. When you play Rocket League and you want to do something in the game, it's like the controls are so perfect that the car almost feels like an extension of yourself. Psyonix did an amazing job with Rocket League, and I highly recommend it to anybody who plays video games at all. It's incredibly fun. Now, Rocket League launched on the Nintendo Switch. It was announced during the Switch's first year at E3. It was a huge announcement, I believe. Like it popped up and I was like, whoa, Rocket League, that's a big, big deal. And then it launched on the Switch, and Psyonix is one of those companies that I am a big fan of because they do the things that need to be done. They make sure that their game gets a good treatment on every platform. And they've worked really hard to improve Rocket League over time. Actually, they forked over the porting to another company who hopefully chat can remind me of who it is because I can't think of their name right now. But I am a big fan of the company. I'm trying to. It's not here. It doesn't matter. The company that ported it did a fantastic job. It's not Sucker Punch, Johnny Link. It's another company they also ported Doom to the Switch. Panic Button. Thank you very much, Kodiak Moonwolf. I knew chat would have my back. By the way, if you don't watch live, you absolutely should over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. So Panic Button ported Rocket League to the Switch. They did a great job. It ran at 30 frames per second. But at the end of the day, when I was playing it, and the two games, unless the two games were side by side, my PC version and my Switch version just seemed fine to me. And the gameplay is so fast that you can't really tell that the textures are a little bit muddy. And then they patched it so that they gave you the ability to decide, I want to have lower resolution and higher frames per second, or I want to have it look prettier but have lower frames per second. So they leave that up to the player as well. That was a later patch. But I'm not here to talk about all that stuff. I'm here to talk about a brand new patch which just came out yesterday on the January 14th. And this is over at their official website. Full cross-platform play is now live in Rocket League. So here I'm going to read this to you. It says, with special thanks to all our friends and colleagues at PlayStation, we are thrilled to announce that starting right now, Rocket League has entered the PlayStation Cross-Play Beta Program. Players on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Steam can now randomly, that's an important word there, we're going to come back to that, randomly matchmake with or against each other in all online match types. So that's casual, competitive, and extra modes. Now, this is not on by default. You have to go in and turn this on if you want to participate in that. They said to make sure that cross-platform play is enabled. Oh, no, it is on by default, but you may have shut it off before. Head to the main menu, select options, and then make sure cross-platform play box is checked in the gameplay tab. All right. So why did I say we needed to come back to the randomly thing? So the reason why I say we got to go back to that, the reason why I'm coming back to that is because that means, like right now, if I'm playing on, we'll say my PC on Steam, and you're playing on Nintendo Switch, we can get matched against each other, okay? But we can't join a party together and then queue up to play against other people, okay? We can randomly get matched against each other, but we can't be in a group together to play against other people. Now, right now, they said, what about cross-platform parties? They said in our first update this year, so in 2019, there's more information coming soon on that. We will release our cross-platform party system, which allows you to partner up with friends on any platform with the push of a few buttons. Think about what's coming down the pipe for Smite on the Nintendo Switch. I believe it's also coming down the pipe for Paladins on the Nintendo Switch. Well, actually on all platforms, sorry. Fortnite already does that, and we're gonna Fortnite already has like cross-platform parties. So if my son's playing on his PS4 and I'm playing on my Nintendo Switch, I can join a group with him and play together, which is really, really cool. The only issue is if you like to use party chat, then you can't talk to each other that way. It only works through the game. Now, I don't know if Rocket League is going to have voice chat. I don't know if Rocket League has voice chat built in on other platforms at all, now that I think about it. And I guess it doesn't really matter because we'll just end up using Discord anyway. But I think it's really cool. Now, why would I care about this if I can't play with my friends on other platforms yet? Although that's coming down the road. Well, first off, you can play with your friends right now by creating a private match. Okay. So you can follow the links in the show notes to find out how to do that. But why would I care about this? Because the more players that every platform has access to, the faster you're going to find a game. So let's say that I sit down and we'll say that the Switch has the lowest install base for Rocket League. I think that's probably true. It's the newest console. The other consoles have been out for a while, and so they probably sold lots and lots of copies of Rocket League on those other ones. And not everybody's going to want to rebuy the game because it came to the Switch. And even though the Switch is selling like crazy, there's still more Xboxes and more PS4s out there in the wild for people to use to buy a game like Rocket League. So we'll just all agree that hypothetically the Switch has the smallest install base for Rocket League. What does that mean? It also means up until now that it had the smallest number of players to pull from. So when I look for a random match and the game goes out and starts looking for people for me to play with, there are less people who are available to me than would be available to somebody playing on the PS4 or the Xbox One or Steam. Now, up until now, you've been able to play with people on Steam. You've been able to play with people, I think, on Xbox, but you've not been able to play with people on PS4 because Sony was kind of dragging their feet as the current market leaders. You know, they have the most consoles out there. They've kind of been winning, with big quotes, this generation of video games. And I also say this generation with quotes because the dividing line between the generations is starting to get muddier and muddier as these hardware developers start to go more and more along the lines of the incremental update like you see with mobile phones. So I've kind of lost my track of my point here. Okay. So there's a lot more people out there playing on these other platforms, and PlayStation was saying, well, we want everybody to play on PlayStation, so we're not going to play with these other platforms. We're going to take our basketball, I guess our soccer ball. Oh, you can play basketball in Rocket League. We're going to take our basketball and go home like a pouty little brat. And, there was some backlash from that, and it took quite a long time, but Sony finally realized, hey, we're doing things for the wrong reasons, and it's going to bite us in the rear end sooner rather than later. Like, we're ticking off a lot of potential customers. I think that they were totally fine doing the wrong thing if it meant that they would make more money, but enough people kept complaining about it over and over and over. And Sony finally said, you know what? Fine. We're not happy about it, but we'll beta test this cross-platform stuff. So I think that when the next generation of consoles comes out, I think that cross-platform will be the standard, which is fantastic. It's a really big thing. It's a really important thing. And it makes it so that it doesn't matter what my friends buy. I can buy the platform that I prefer. I think that that's a really important thing. And it's a very good thing. And Rocket League now finally having full cross-platform play is fantastic. And now we just have to wait for them to bring in the cross-server parties, or I'm sorry, the cross-platform parties, and we'll be all set. And I think that it's a long time coming. It's if I'm going to quote the worst TV theme song in modern sci-fi history, it's been a long road getting from there to here. But we're finally here. Okay. I forgot how the song goes there. So I think that let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be playing Rocket League more now that you can do cross-platform play fully? I recently just turned it on my Switch so that it would update because I've been playing a bunch of other stuff lately. So I'm all patched up and ready to go. Put me in, coach.